screen.
Right, okay. Can you guys see it says sharing on my side?
Now we don't see your screen yet.
Nothing yet. Okay. And then my Firefox is not doing what it's supposed to. Just gonna switch browsers. Okay, can you guys see my screen now?
Yes, we can.
Wonderful. Yes. Okay. So basically, guys, we're just going to be picking up from where we left off last time. And remember that I got cut off at the end because my laptop died. So we are going to do a lab first, and then we're going to go back to that conversation, and then we'll pick up from there. Okay. So as you know, we were busy still speaking about the tooling inside of GCP, mentioning the Light RT offering that is the new rewrite of TensorFlow Lite. And then now we will be moving towards the actual lab. And the lab that I've picked is Vertex AI Studio, where all this goodness and magic happens. So I'm just going to make a slide so you know what we'll be trying to aim for. As you can see, on the right hand side, these are your basic operations that you can have in GCP and in Power with Quick Labs. The nice thing about Quick Labs, it's been renamed to your Cloud Boost skill. The nice thing about this particular platform that you guys are using for labs is that it's one to one with what you do in production. So if you're learning how to set up this particular link, and then we'll share this tab, and you see like, okay, and then you will see if we look on the left hand side, this is underneath the introduction to AI and machine learning on GCP. We go back one more time. The previous, should I go to here? Okay, let me go to here actually.
With a grasp of the Gen AI concept.
And okay, sign in. Yes, with Google. Yeah, it's fine. I'll dismiss. And then we look for parts. I will look for machine learning. Machine learning path. And right now, we are currently going to be following the introduction to AI and machine learning path. And we were still discussing how everything builds up from an introductory phase, building all the way up to advanced phase. So by the time when you're done with the entire setup and the track, you should be good to go, and you'll know that you're ready to go and take that machine learning exam. Okay, so then we're going to hop in here. We're going to go down to the bottom and look for get started with Vertex AI Studio. I'm going to start the lab. And it's a no cost lab, so that's wonderful for our credits. It's okay. We're already in private browsers, but it's fine. Open up GCP. See, okay, so now basically I would just be signing up with that sandboxed account so we can begin the lab, get it completed, then we all know what we're working towards. So let's go into our console. Okay, and let me see if I cannot share the entire window. That would be much easier. Okay. Okay, no, I don't think that's gonna work. My machine had that issue, it's fine. Okay, so we're just gonna go through this, right? So basically, this lab is to guide us through Vertex AI Studio, where you unlock the potential for cutting-edge generative AI models like Gemini, and you step into a role of helping an insurance company prototype a risk analysis assistant. You will learn how to take a prompt idea towards a deployable application, design sophisticated prompts to achieve specific generative outcomes, and use multimodal capabilities to analyze various types of data, including images, all directly in GCP. No need for APIs or Python SDKs for this core task. And then the first thing we always do, we want to see what are we aiming towards. So 1, 2, 3, three tasks. We're going to be creating a prompt application with Vertex AI Studio, prompt engineering in Vertex AI Studio, and compare, evaluate, and manage prompts. Then we're going to go more down. Basic setup. You guys should be aware of these. Signing in with GCP, Cognito mode. Yes, we currently have that. We do have the information, so it would actually be the site. So share. So username, password, scroll more down, email, password, hit next, make sure you're signed in, make sure you can see your resources, and then we're going to begin with task 1. Right, okay, so I come like this, I want to accept, share the screen. Okay, as you can see, now they are asking us to select the project. And you see, this is the project that they have asked us of. So you'll see Quick Labs GCP 04697FD. Then we can also just confirm this side and we say you share this tab. Quick Labs GCP 04697FD. Wonderful. So task 1, we're going to be creating applications from prompts. What do they want us to do? They would like for us to open up the navigation menu, look for Vertex AI, and then select the Vertex AI Studio. And then on the top left, they would like us to create a new chat. This will bring you to a prompt editor page. The UI consists of 3 main sections: system instructions, model settings, prompt. Once the new untitled prompt page loads, click on untitled prompt and rename your prompt to insurance risk summary. Let's take that, copy. Okay, and then we're going to say in the system instructions box, enter the following to give your AI assistant a role relevant to our insurance scenario. Okay, now we're going to switch over back to GCP. And as you can see, let's select that. And they say we must look for Vertex AI. And within Vertex AI, they want us to find the studio. Let's go to AI Studio. There we go. Then they say top left, there should be add new chat, and then will be an untitled prompt where we're going to have to specify the name, and then we're going to have to add. Nice. Okay, next, create a new prompt. Next, API keys. Next, dark mode, as always. You should know this by now. Nice. And I believe this was a chat. It's in the chat. Untitled prompt. Okay, then they're just giving us / commands. Thank you. Model settings, mini map to follow through, and then compare once you're done. Okay. So they say the first thing we need to do is change the title to that. Right. Then the second one, it should be extract information, which is so in the system instructions box, enter the following to give your AI assistant a relevant role to our insurance scenario. So just going to copy that, come back over to Vertex. I'm going to paste that. Do not invent details. Interesting. Okay, so we're going to be basically seeing how this lab actually works out for us. And then now you can see we're on step 5 of task 1. They're asking us below the system instructions in the main prompt area at the bottom of the page, paste the following. So we have successfully copied this. And then in step 6, we have to be in the model settings section where we're going to be ensuring that we're using Gemini 2.5 Flash model. And then if not already set, select global for region, submit or click submit, arrow button or press enter and review the model's response. Next to the prompt name, click the save button. And in the save prompt dialog, confirm that the region is correct, which is US Central 1, and click save. Once your prompt has been saved, you'll explore how this draft prompt can be turned into a prototype application. At the top right of the page, click on the code button. Step 11 will be follow the menu that appears, select deploy and deploy as app in the deploy to cloud run dialog that appears. If prompted to enable service, which is your cloud build, cloud run, click enable required APIs and wait for them to be enabled. Check the acknowledgement for publicly deploying your app, and then we're going to create the app. Okay. I think I see where they're going to be taking us to. Nice. So that was one step. Then they asked us to paste the following. And then they had asked us to make sure we're using 2.5 Flash. Let's just confirm if there's other Flash models. So there's light, there's image, 2.5 Flash. Nice. Okay. I believe I can hit the send now, but then I just want to check a few things. Global region. Okay. Minimize this. Let's see. Is there? Okay, global. There's the regions already pre-populated. Lovely. And then they say hit send. Nice. Now let us hit submit. Okay, now we've gotten back a response. And then now they say that we must do what? We must save. So next to your prompt name, click the save button. And then after that, we're going to make sure we're still underneath US Central 1. And then we should be moving towards the deploy as app. Okay. Let's say next to the name. Here's the save. Okay. Hit save. US Central 1. Let's see. Do they already have this pre-selected or must I disable it? No valid keys. Okay, it's fine. I'm going to cancel and I'm just going to leave it as that. I'm going to hit save. Okay, while that's still thinking, now we should be ready to deploy. So what do they say? They say like once your prompt has been saved, you'll explore the draft. The drafted prompt can be turned into a prototype application. At the top right of the page, click on the code button. Okay. This is still loading, so let me share this tab again. And I'm pretty sure you guys are aware. Over here, we do have that code button. We're going to be selecting that so that we can see the options that they are showing us. Okay, and let me just continue while that's still building. So we already went through that. Then we're going to be selecting the deploy and then creating the application. We're going to get to this. And then the most important stuff, the notes. So the deployment process may occasionally fail on the first attempt. This typically happens if the underlying permissions for the full server have not fully propagated when the deployment starts. If you see a failed status in the Manage Web App dialog, please follow the steps to retry. Wait for approximately 1 minute to allow all services and permissions to initialize in the Manage Web App dialog. Click the Update App button, and then a confirmation box will appear. Click Confirm to start the update process, and then they give us more details down the line as to how we're going to be continuing. So let me just check the side. That is still taking some time. Okay, it's fine. Okay, so this is expected when saving the first prompt in a region. Please allow extra time for it to process. No, we're not even going to try and fight. We're going to continue reading. Okay, then we're going to be given a lovely prototype that looks as such, Vertex AI. So basically this is what we'll be seeing as administrators, but the end user will be looking at this interface. Okay, that's still task one. Hey, that's interesting. Okay, chat box section, we're going to be typing a message. So we're going to be pasting that. So this is basically going to be used in here to test the actual model that's running behind that bot that we have just created now. And then we're going to check that progress. Okay, doesn't look too hectic. Just going to verify. Ah, lovely. Now let's switch back to here. And then as you can see, last saved at 6:30 on October the 2nd, 2025. Okay, then now I believe they mentioned the deployment of the application after we've saved. So from the menu that appears, select deploy. Okay, so now the question is, where is the menu that they are specifying? Welcome to the upgraded Vertex AI. It's fine. Won't be underneath here. And as always, if you don't know, we Google. Get Gemini. Yes. So most importantly, I want to see this particular deploying menu that should have popped up, but we are not seeing it directly. Okay, would it be no? And if I click, it's still gonna show me this. Okay. Okay, lovely. Start chatting. Please assist with deploying application created under Vertex AI. I should have also added Studio so that it narrows down the search. So deploying applications in Vertex AI Vision, you see, that's what I didn't want, but it's fine. Let's come back here. Let's grab this. I'm gonna go like this. Paste. Say studio dash chat. Okay, so after you finalize your prompt, look for the bold with code button. Okay. Let's search it on the page. Control F. Bold with code, there's 3 of them. Oh, there's 5. We're currently seeing 3. We are not seeing that. Okay, it's perfectly fine. This is usually located in the top right. So here's the top side. Preferences, downloads, cloud partners, project settings. Nope. Okay, let's see. These settings should have nothing related to what we're trying to do right now. It's fine. Let's go back. Code. Is it because I've skipped? There we go. Okay. And as I've mentioned before in the other releases, the minute GCP updates, the actual working GCP environment, sometimes Quick Labs might be a little bit behind. So deploy as app, that's what they've asked of us. And as you can see, this is not in the top right corner, but it is somewhere inside of this particular functionality inside of GCP. So now we're just gonna wait and make sure this is working. Okay, let me just make sure with the instructions. Okay, reshare this. So we've selected deploy, drop down deploy as an application, and then in the deploy to cloud run dialog that appears, if prompted, enable the services that are required, enable the APIs, wait for them to be enabled, acknowledge them, and create the application. And then the process will begin and take a few minutes. Okay, that should not be an issue. So let's just follow through with us. Say this tab, yes. So please make some changes. Okay, I'm gonna minimize this for now. Will it open inside of Vertex? I wonder. And then it will be much easier. Then I'll just run this. No, it's fine. What can I use? The next best thing of the GCP is Cloud Shell. Okay, yes. And they said we can skip this, right? We can skip the Python. Because they say that we don't need Python. Let me just authorize down here. Okay, nice. So okay, switch over to Python. Let us grab the following and paste. Okay, basically, let me show you how I basically use my Gemini on my local machine. I do the following. I always log into the directory that I'm always working with. I always want to make sure that whatever I do, my AI is aware of it. So whatever changes that I make inside of my environment, so whether it's my directory for videos, for documents, for code, and I'm using AI, make sure it's always up to Git standard using GitOps principles. And we always make sure that the information is already there, right? So now we're gonna ask for assistance with Gemini. So this should be the most robust and best way to interface Gemini with GCP, right? It's like, hi, I would like to deploy a cloud app created under Vertex AI Studio. If I can spell, obviously. So with a D, there we go. And then we make sure that this cloud app uses Cloud Run, if I'm not mistaken, with Cloud Run created. Okay, wonderful. Okay, I can help you do that. To get started, I'll need a bit more about your application. Can you tell me where this application code is located? Also, does it already have a Docker file? So we can go and extract that information by pulling down the link, and you'd be like, okay, and paste. As you would see, I'm currently following this lab. And with Gemini CLI, it has got access to the browser, as you would see over here. Fetch, you're like, yes, please, always allow. Then it's going to go through the details of the page, get some context as to what you are actually asking of it, so that when you're like, please deploy me this, it's not going to be like, what's that? It's going to be like, oh, okay. Because as you can see, let me just close this prompt or that help dialog, is like, I can help with that. To get started, I need a bit more information about your application. So I'm like, okay, here's the link. I'm currently following this lab. Now it should, using its internal transformer algorithm, I believe it uses BERT. They don't use GPT. It will now start to pick up like, okay, one, the user has given me the information. You see, always allow. So now let's read the full message from them. So based on the lab, it seems that deployment is handled automatically through that. But since I'm that command line agent, I can't click the buttons for that. To get started, I'll need a bit more information about your application. Okay, that is before that. So based on the lab, it seems like it is deployed automatically. However, I can guide you through the process of deploying a Cloud Run application from the command line, which is what the UI is doing in the background. First, I need to find the location code that the Vertex AI Studio generated. It's likely in the directory within your home folder. I'll start by searching the relevant files. So it looks for that. And then it comes back to us with what information. As I mentioned before, relies on Vertex user to interface with that. Okay, not a problem. I wish they had Gemini CLI UI. It's this other open source project that they have, but it's fine. Let's just do it from scratch then. Boom, 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 boom. Let's copy like this. Let's copy like this. Okay. Did we grab everything? No. Okay, here is the Python script provided by the lab. I'm going to hit enter, then it's going to go through that. But then on the second slide, so not you, so I need to open up a new tab. I'm going to install these from scratch. So I'm going to grab this. Oh yeah, and then we can ask, what is my Google Cloud API key? Yeah. Don't know why this is slow, but it's fine. Google Cloud API key is set to question mark. Okay, let's see. We'll go back to the first one. Yes, we always allow. Thank you very much. Okay, I'm gonna grab that. Okay, that's fine. Google Cloud API key. Okay, it's not set. Now we can ask you, how do I get my Google Cloud API key? Make some changes first before deploying. Question is, what changes are you asking of me, sir? So let's see. You wouldn't matter. Autosave. Nope. You. Yes. Knowledge. Yes. Okay, so when I selected code, it didn't select the insurance risk summary application. It created its own prompt. So to confirm, as you can see, Gemini app insurance, risk, status, loss deployed, access control, secret key. We're gonna make sure we have the same image, share this tab, yes. And as you see, this is where we are right now. Then wait 1 minute. Okay, that's not a problem. Then they say when it fails, you must update the app, and then confirmation box will appear. Click confirm to start the update process. Then we're going to close the button in the manage web app box. Okay. Let me just grab that for now because we're going to paste it in the chat box. Okay. And the things you can't even hide this. That was going to be nice if we could do a background running so that we could have tried to deploy this with the Python script that was provided to us. Okay, we're already looking into task 2, zero-shot prompting. Okay, so ensure that you're in the main AI studio area. If you're viewing your deployed app from task 1, close that browser tab, return to GCP. Nice. Create a new, okay. While it's still thinking, well, as a matter of fact, I should be able to open up another tab for GCP, and then I'll concurrently run both of them. Lovely. Okay. So now I'm also just going to start with Vertex AI, pen that, and we want the studio. Yes, please. We're going to create a new chat while that one is still deploying. So chat. It's a new chat. We're going to paste there. It's going to be here. Let's just confirm. Switch over to here. Okay, first we're going to grab this. Okay. Save. Beautiful. Come back over here. Share this tab. Familiarize yourself with the scenario for this section. An insurance adjuster often receives unstructured notes or emails about a new claim and needs to quickly extract key pieces of information to enter into the claims management system. System instructions, so same thing. System instructions, that's going to be different because that's for the previous task. Come back over here. Main prompting area, I'm going to copy this. Okay. And then we are gonna make sure now we're looking at the 2.5 flash model and the temperature set to 0.1. Wait, yes, yes, Gemini, flash, 0.1 they said. Oh yeah, guys, just give me 2 seconds. I'll be back. Okay, apologies about that. I'm back. Okay, I believe that should be deployed. Let's see. Building code and creating service. Enable the background APIs. Okay. Let's go back to here. Share this page. And as you can see, they say the first time it wouldn't work. So they would like for us to update the app. So we're going to select that, confirm. Okay, and then we're just gonna minimize that, make sure the other, so now we're back to the second task. So we're gonna make sure that this is 0.1. Output token is 1024 and the region is global according to the model settings section. So we're just gonna confirm that and share this tab. Yes, please. Make it that. Lovely. And they said global. If I've matched, I'm going to share this. Global. Click submit button. Review the output. The first attempt should, this first attempt without explicit example is called zero-shot prompting. Okay. Gonna minimize. I'm gonna hit send. Lovely, 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 lovely. Okay, share this tab. Okay, so as you can see, so I've put in the prompt that it had asked of me, system instructions of its context awareness of what it is, set it to that output. Just make sure the wording, the output token limit to only 1024. And as you would see, the results that came back is only what's required from the information given above here. It's well structured and brings out that information because now you're not just giving it a free reign of unlimited output. You're like, nope, I want you to only give me the information required so that I can continue with my work as an insurance advisor bot. So now we're going to be moving towards the few shot prompting. We're going to select a new chat. We're going to open the button, or on the bottom, we're going to click on the add button. And then from there, we're going to select from an example. Okay. But before that, let us just confirm that the initial. Okay, let's see. Open the application and share this tab. Wonderful. Now I'm going to go back up there, get that last task one prompt that they had asked. I'm pasting here and submit. So now you have basically your own Gemini that is pre-dedicated to you and you alone. And now you'll see information will be given to us from the chat, safe harbor warehousing with a summary, immediate underwriter questions of potential risk factors, cost of goods delivery, claim history. And now, if we go back to here and share this tab, I believe we should be able to tick off task one. Shazam, beautiful. Now we're already included this first portion for zero prompting. We hit send, we got our results back. Now we're going to move over to the few shot prompting. I'm going to create a new chat. Click on the bottom of the prompt section, click on the plus button. Then from the pop-up menu, we're going to select an example. Then let's see. This will open a new window where you will add examples for the prompt. And in the examples interface that appears, for the input for your first example, please place the following. Okay, it's fine. I'm going to come back here. Share this tab. Okay, so this was the zero shot prompting. Now we're gonna add a new chat. We're gonna click on the plus. Examples, please. It's gonna show up, and I believe the input. I believe it's gonna be there. But just to confirm, let's go back and share this tab. Okay, so it will look like that. We can confirm it looks like that. And then in the examples interface for the input of your first example, paste the following. That's what we've done. We've just pasted that. Then for the output, paste the following. And then click add examples. Beautiful. So share here and paste. So now we're like, whatever information that's being given to us in this type of format, whatever happens, the output will always be looking like this. Then we're gonna add example. Now we have the information up there. Well, as you would see now, instead of me just typing and then it giving me a response, now it has got more context. So I've given it input data and output data of how it's supposed to look like. So whatever I put in here, the information is going to come back to match what has been given as the output. And then they're asking us to re-add system instructions. So we're going to copy that. System instructions. Hello. Come back over here. And then in the area labeled input value here, paste the original claim. And then we paste the original claim that was given to us. And in the label, write a prompt. Oh, okay. Apologies. Let me show you so you guys follow the right instructions. So as you would see, what they ask of us is in the area labeled input. So I had accidentally, let me share this, pasted that over here, which is the wrong place. They want it over here. There we go. Then we're gonna grab the prompt, which is over here, and then we're gonna add it underneath here. And then we're gonna make sure that the information is set as follows. So if we share the tab, so now we have added near the input right value here, and we've given it the prompt. Now we're just going to make sure we update it to match the following: Gemini 2.5 flash, temperature 0.1, output token limit must be to 1024 characters, and then eventually we make sure that the region is global. Okay, so we make sure that information is corresponding. Nope. So 1024, we're on global. Lovely. We're going to hit send. Experimenting with prompt configuration. Now you explore how different parameters in the model sections in the model settings can affect the model's response. Ensure your insurance claim data extraction prompt with a few shot example is active. Then I'm going to be creating a new chat. Okay. So this information is given back to us, not a problem. I'm going to duplicate this and share that so we can create a new one. Okay. That's insurance story. So let's come back here. We asked for a new chat. Yes. Title prompt. Insurance story. In the prompt text. So if we come back here and you look, so now we're going to be following through with the experimenting with the prompt configuration. We've created a new prompt. It's called the insurance story. And then we just have to paste the following. And then we just need to make sure that we are experimenting with the model settings. Because remember, the minute you start playing around with Quick Labs and Cloud Boost, it's going to be checking all these fields and tasks that you have completed. And if you completed them to the T, you get your 100 points, then you move on. Okay, save we must paste over here. In the save we must check. Change the temperature to 1.5. Click submit and note any changes, then change the temperature back to 0.1 using the same, and then we submit. Experiment. So set with 500 and then reset it to the maximum. Okay. So we're just going to increase the temperature here to 1.5. And they had also asked us to just hit send. Okay, let's hit send with the way that it's set up. And they say we must what? Grab this information, paste it here again, bring it down to 0.5. And then we're gonna just check the final outputs given by the LLM. And you'll see that it's different users, Clara and author. And then the next one, if we show over here, you would see that they've asked us to change the output token limit to 500, submit, and then put it to the maximum, and then submit. So we make this 500 first, and paste the same, and then let it think, then let it output, then we're going to set it back to the maximum. Nice. Paste and send. Because as you have seen, when we put at 500, we got a red output showing that this information would not meet the 500 token limit that we had specified initially. So just to confirm and make sure you guys have that, let's just send that again, and you'll see. So this is the one with the maximum output. This is the one with the 500, and then it shows as red, meaning that the response was truncated because it had reached the token limit. Try to increase the token limit if you need a longer response. Okay, switch back to here. Experiment with top P. A value of 1, and then begin lowering it down to make the output more focused, similar to lowering the temperature. Try with a temperature of 0.1 and select 0.8. Okay. Share this tab. Let's say begin with 0.1 over here. No, temperature is 0.1 and the top P is 0.8. And then here it's 0.1. Then we paste, and we send. And then we need to set it to 1, and then we just submit, keeping the same temperature. Okay. And as you can see, that has failed. Oh yeah, obviously, because that is not back to the maximum. Yes, not bad. Thanks, then it comes back with information. And then the site should get that back up to 1. Because we set it to 0.8. So then we make this 1. Same. And then now they're going to be asking us about advanced model settings, safety filter. These are active by default to help block harmful content. For this lab, you'll use this. Wonderful. Thinking budget. So this parameter guides the model on the number of thinking tokens to use when generating a response. A higher token count generally allows for more detailed reasoning, which can be beneficial for tackling more complex tasks. It defaults to auto, but it can also be set to off or manual. When set to manual, the model stops analyzing after reaching a specified token limit. You can set a lower limit for simpler tasks and a higher limit for more complex ones. Structured output forces the model to generate a response that strictly follows a predefined schema like JSON. And it's also grounded with Google, connects the model to Google Search or Maps, enabling it to answer real-time public information. Grounding your data allows the model to retrieve information from your own data source like Vertex AI search or RAG engine to answer the context-specific questions. Lovely. Now we're going to be engineering. They're asking us for a new chat. Okay, I'm going to just duplicate this tab. I'm going to share it. Okay, that's for a new chat. Wonderful. And then we create a new name for the prompt, which is going to be your insurance risk factor identification. Then set up the symbol-based prompt. I'm going to paste this over here. And then we are going to grab the main prompt that's going to be required over here. Configuration, make sure it's 0.2, make sure it's Gemini 2.5 Flash, and the region is global. It's on Flash. Lovely. Make this 0.2. Okay. And then submit. Okay, let's see if there's any other additional tasks they require us to do. I'm just going to share that over here. And then now they're asking us to save. Once that has come back to us, and then now with your insurance risk factor identification prompt and its response displayed, click the three dots on the top right next to your prompt name and select compare. If prompted, exit without saving, then click continue, then compare. The compare interface will open. Your insurance risk factor identification prompt and its configuration and its latest response will be duplicated on two sides of the page, so you can easily compare different versions with differences in model setting and system instructions. So basically, I'm pretty sure if you've used Gemini, you've asked it something, it has given you two options. It's like, which one do you think is much better? Okay, so I'm just gonna come back over here. Okay, before we go there, let's just make sure 0.2, we hit send, and then now we must just compare. But before that, we must save. No, so this thing is already saved, as you can see with the cloud button. Now we're just gonna compare. Wonderful. Then you can look at the conversation, the thoughts that came back, or the response that came back. Okay, almost looks similar. Nah, definitely looks similar. So would that mean that I change this information up here and the instructions, but I believe this should stay the same. So let's come back and just confirm. So they have Gemini, same system instructions, same conversation. So basically they're just letting us know what's currently capable in the system, okay? And then comparing by modifying system instructions. Okay. Then now we're gonna go back to system instructions on the right-hand side. Edit the existing system instruction for the prompt on the right, updated with the following. So I'm gonna take this, gonna come here, share this tab, system instructions, updated as follows. Then we're gonna share the following, and then they're gonna be saying keep the rest at the bottom and submit the following prompt at the bottom of the page. Okay. And I'm gonna evaluate with this prompt, right? Okay. Keep the rest of the model settings the same. Submit the prompt in the box at the bottom of the page. Apologies. That's just evaluating, meaning that when I submit, there we go. Then both conversations are supposed to be updated. But now the one on the right hand side should be much more detailed. As you can see, this one you're just an insurance analyst, but here you're an expert insurance risk analyst. So let's minimize the system instructions. And you'll see over here. So we sent this same scenario prompt, same scenario. Here gives us 1, 2, 3 bullet points, whereas with the expert system instructions that we've added over here, it breaks it down as to here's the first bullet point, yes, but gives us more detailed information as to why it feels this information is relevant to us. So risk factor explains it. Mitigation question explains it. Valet parking liability. Risk factor, mitigation question. Public liability, risk factor, mitigation question. So depending on how you want to interface and work with your bots and models, these courses, and the nice thing about it, they are on Google, they're on YouTube. Uh, it's Google Career Certificates. You can look for the prompting course. You go through that playlist. You should be able to have a full grasp on how to approach prompting the way that they are asking of us in this particular lab. So wait for both responses to generate, or wait for both prompts to generate responses. Review them side by side. There's a second prompt now. Include mitigation strategies or questions due to the modified instructions. Feel free to modify the system instructions further to see how it guides the model responses. Lovely. So inside of the system instructions box for the prompt on the right, revert it to the same as the left. Okay, so make sure they are similar. Share, and then make sure they're similar. Yes. And then for the right, open up the model, okay, as you would see. So for the prompt on the right side, open the model settings pane and change the temperature to 2, ensuring that the model is still 2.5. And then we submit the same. Okay, I'm gonna click on here, I'm gonna share here, I'm gonna paste, but here that asked us to just bump up the temperature to, I'm just gonna minimize the conversation. And that asks for a temperature of 2. So, and then we hit submit. And then we minimize and we, and as you would see, scenario, and now it's speaking in a different language. I'd say Portuguese. Why? That's interesting. Let's see if there was anything that changed. Observe the differences caused the list of to be less focused on more structured, not even, it's speaking in a different language. So let me make sure I didn't change anything on my side. I believe do anything that would cause it to speak in a different language. We just increased the temperature, everything looks the same. And you did not change, so you should 0.2. Everything should be fine, okay? And share this tab. Okay, so different models, left, make it right, okay. So on the right hand side, they are asked for Pro now. Okay, Gemini Pro.
Sure, Alex. I'm not too sure if you noticed, but you're out of time and the lab will just restart, which is just like.
No, 100%, 100%. I can see the lab.
Yeah.
Wait, how many more minutes do we have left? Because I'm thinking of just using more credits to continue the other sections so they have the full end to end.
We're actually 18 minutes over time.
Overtime.
So, yeah. We're actually out of time. I think what we can do is refer everyone to go do the lab at home. And should they have any questions, then they'll ask obviously in the WhatsApp group
And the
or
WhatsApp
on
group.
our email. Yeah.
Okay. So on my end, I'm just going to continue the entire lab, take screenshots, and then send it to the WhatsApp group. And then you guys can
Okay.
just ask
Awesome.
questions from there.
Awesome. I think Sabelo had a quick question before we wrap up.
Yes,
Uh,
let's answer that. So, for our super sensitive insurance data, what is the best way for Vertex AI to make sure that our models, predictions, and all the data it uses are guaranteed to stay within our own private cloud network? Is there a special security architecture setting we need to check? So now you're gonna make me work overtime. That's a beautiful question. Okay. So let us
maybe
break
try
things
and
down.
answer it within time, you know?
Oh yeah, 100%. Please.
Thank you.
Okay. So, one, all information, all labs. So, GCP, Quick Labs, and the official is exactly one to one. Whatever you create inside of here is already protected. Only when you decide to create a V VPC and you expose it to a public network, that's when the information will be leaving your private cloud. So let me just switch back over to, that's fine. I'm just going to switch over back to my own GCP. There we go. My own account, please. Okay, wonderful. So, okay, it's still going to reload. Yep, it's fine. That needs to close. That doesn't matter. Let's come back here. So, now let us do VPC. So, if you have watched the previous labs that we've done, we've shown that okay, we need to have role-based access, we need to have certain things in place before you're allowed to go outside. So the minute you are a cloud engineer, trainings and stuff that you need to do, okay, let me just continue because basically this is what I want to show you. When you're like, hey Alex, the information that is sensitive, how do I make sure that it's private? The minute you're reading GCP, it's already secure to like GCP, and Google in itself has got the highest levels of security standards that's around in the market. Usually the ones who are always propelling the way that we do operations and how we handle our data. Making sure that, okay, one, you have your data stored in a cloud storage and you're ready to access that information internally. You don't need to even worry about VPC because you'll be playing inside of GCP. The only time when you need to be aware of what data you're exposing externally, one, you need to have your licenses. So if you're doing banking data, PCI. If you're doing medical data, HIPAA. So you need to have those certifications first. They also have ways on how you can expose that data. You must mask certain fields and certain information when you're working with that data. So making sure that your information is still being answered to. So you're asking what's the best way for Vertex AI to make sure that our model's prediction and all the data is guaranteed to stay within our own private cloud network. So we create this VPC and then we're like, anyone who's allowed to communicate with our data within this network will have access. So if I allow Simon Chichi access inside of my VPC, they'll be able to access that information through Vertex, through uh, Cloud Shell, any other of GCP information or tooling they'd like to use to interact with that data. They'll be able to. But if I don't give Sabelo access, he will never see that data unless he hacks into it. And then that's when Google's security will jump in and protect that data, making sure that you won't be losing that information.
Okay, thanks, Alex. Even Sabelo says he
You
got
got it.
it.
You got it. Ah, beautiful,
Yeah.
beautiful.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay,
I
guys,
think
thank you so much for joining us. This video will be on YouTube come tomorrow morning. Okay, so let's wrap up. Thank you so much for joining us, guys. This has been a good session at GDG Soweto.
All right. Thank you very much for
Bye,
joining,
everyone.
guys. We'll be in touch, guys. Bye.